What's up, family? Welcome to the family video this week. This week we're going to be recapping our material from Fall Retreat, which was last weekend. It was awesome, and so we're going to recap that for you and allow you guys to work through that this week.
And so this past weekend we got to dive into our theme, Eyes Up. And the whole idea behind this theme is that when we get stressed, when life hits, we tend to look down and focus on our circumstance, look at the things that are really capturing our attention and maybe even make us feel like we're struggling or that things are just hard. And so what we wanted to invite each student to be a part of this weekend is just a time to lift their eyes up, to pause, to just slow down for a second, realize what is it that I'm paying attention to? What is it that is just making me fix my eyes? And to praise, to look at Jesus, see who he is, and lift our eyes up to him and see why he is worthy of putting our eyes on him and looking to him for everything we need.
So we had 3 sessions over the course of the weekend, and so all of our 3 points for this video will come from each one of those sessions. So we'll put a scripture up, then it'll be a point, and then another scripture and a point, another scripture and a point. You get the deal. And so first session we talked about how where our eyes are fixed, what our eyes are gazing upon determines what we're filled by. And we see in Matthew 6, Jesus says, if you focus on light, you're filled with light. If you focus on darkness, you're filled with darkness. And so it's very important. This is why we're talking about this. Where our eyes go determines what our whole body is filled by.
And then the second session, we got to talk about when we focus on the storm or when we focus on our fears, we sink. And we talked about the story of Jesus walking out on the water. And the disciples were watching him, and Peter says, "Is that really you? And if it's you, call out to me and let me come to you." And in that moment, Peter looks at the storm and he begins to sink. And that can be the story for a lot of us. We can look at the wind blowing and all the things going on around us, and we want to say to God, just show me one more time that I can trust you. Let me know that you're bigger than my fears. And so we talked about how that means when we look at Jesus, we can remind ourselves that he's trustworthy and that we can focus on him to get us through.
And then lastly, we talked about basically answering the question, why is Christ worthy of our gaze? And so we looked at Hebrews 12, and basically the main point is that Christ, the pioneer and the perfecter of our faith, is completely worthy of our gaze. And you'll see that from Hebrews 12. And so we have a couple of questions for you. Again, after I kind of briefly say these questions, they'll pop up on the screen, pause on those, work through those in the family. And so the first one is, what are some things that your eyes are fixed upon? And I want you to think figuratively, I want you to think literally. What are some things that your eyes are fixed upon? Because remember, what you focus your eyes on determines what you're filled by. And secondly, what emotions or thoughts are you experiencing by focusing on those circumstances? It may be school. Maybe because of the focus on school, you're experiencing anxiety, or the same adults with you with work. What are some thoughts or emotions or feelings you're experiencing due to those focus? And then lastly, why to you personally is Christ ultimately worthy of your gaze? And so take some time to discuss those things.
Okay guys, we hope you guys had an awesome discussion, and we hope that's a really valuable and sweet time for you guys as a family to come around these thoughts that we got to be talking about all weekend in your life groups and in our messages, and as a family to say, what does this mean in my own life? And so lastly, as a family, we just want to invite you guys to pray together. We want to invite this time to just close out by looking to the Lord and just responding in a way that says, this is where I'm at. And so in response to that discussion, our prayer prompt today is, in response to all those things, together lift your eyes and just set your gaze on Jesus. What would that look like? And so we just want to invite you guys to do that and to pray as a family. We'll see you guys next week.